Hello, guys, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrilling episode of the 20s Talk podcast. Yeah, as you know, it's your favorite host, D to the O to the TUN. Yeah, Dotun. And today we have a lot packed for you all. There's a lot, there's a lot. So you guys are going to be overwhelmed, like, Dotun, please, like, this content is too much. The pressure is getting worse, but don't worry, you guys will have fun all over. I have the studio is packed today, and with me in the studio today, I have your boy, the Bear Champion.
Put some respect on my name is the Big Bear actually. Hey guys, how has everyone been? Hope you guys have been well. Nice to be here again. Let's get into it.
Remember when last week I was telling you guys I'm like you guys' favorite host, and Champion was like, You see, you guys had me so much. So many were like, Dotun, please host again. Dotun, please host again. What more of you? And Champion was like, That's what did you put in your stew? I'm like, no worry, it's just light work, like it's just light work. Champion, like tell them. Oh,
Disclaimer: all he said were lies. Nobody said anything about that. Instead, people were like, "Kai, who is this Dotun boy? He's just boring us out." I said that we're just giving him emotional support. We're trying to encourage him. That's why we gave him the last episode to host. And this time, we're grooming him. When you have a student, you allow them, try out new things and spread their wings. So you guys should just be nice to him, okay? He's going through a lot, so he's using this hosting. He's trying to make it something for himself. Don't worry.
oh
We
wow,
see you. Yeah, we
oh
see you.
wow. You know what they say, when you go low, you go lower. Nice one, nice one. When you said that, be nice to him, it brought me back to one video on TikTok where they said, this is my friend and he's about to show you something. You better be nice. Who else seen that video? Champion, I'm very sure you've seen it. Anyway, that's what it just brought back.
Champion
Anyway, that's
TikTok.
oh, enough of TikTok and Champion. In the studio as well, we also have a very special person that we have not seen in a while. Though. We literally had to go and feel from to bring him here again. He was like, that is expensive and he's busy and booked. That even as a host, he does not have our time. Anyway, we have Abbas baby in the house this evening.
Hi. Because what do you mean you filled form?
We
I don't
filled
know.
form.
I
Listen.
I've been around. But yeah, I'm here again. It's nice to
Oh,
be back.
hallelujah. Hallelujah. Someone say, Amen, people. Amen. Amen.
Listen,
Glory.
please.
Yeah. So glad to have you. I'm very sure the listeners and all the lovers of the 20s podcast have actually missed you.
Uh,
I don't know how to. What did you say?
Nothing. I was just
Okay. You know when you say so much when we start the episode. So I don't know how to describe this person, but all I can say is they are. See, I know. Let me wear my tie. I told what's it called? I told other people that when I was coming to say I'm going to be wearing a tie. You saw the tie, sha. See, I know important people. See, just a bragging rights, but like not a sidebar. Like I'm not bragging, but like I know people that do things. Like I know people that are innovators. I know people who are creators. Like, see, if I should start list out like people I know that I call people like my friends. See, you people be using security to actually follow me. Anyway, today in the studio we have a very special guest, and we finished. He's a friend from school, secondary school, and after secondary school, we still kept in touch. And he's an innovator, a programmer. In fact, I think I'll just leave it for him to tell you all he does. In the studio today, we have with us Michael, probably known as Azu, probably known as Power Hack. Michael, please say hi to the listeners.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Hi, and thanks for having me in the 20s podcast. I am Michael, also known as Power Hack. I'm a professional game developer and a YouTuber. I run a channel named Red Indie Games, and I'm very happy to be here. It's been a while. I haven't seen Dotun in like a long time, but like I'm glad that he invited me to this podcast because I want to hang out with him.
Oh my God, guys! guys, yeah, yeah, see. Champion, I hear you. I'm so glad that you're saying all these things in front of my ops. Look, my ops are hearing, like, oh no, I hear you. Champion, did you want to hang out with me?
Yeah, obviously, Dotun is the best
I
host
told you
I
he
can
was just
obviously.
being nice. He was just
Are you
being
hearing?
nice. Power
Oh,
hack, we
your
see you. Wink, wink,
Dotun is the best
wink,
host.
wink,
Oh God.
wink, 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 wink.
See, when I'm bragging, you guys see, I'm a very, very humble person. If not, I'm not supposed to be walking around alone, like security guards all around. But I'm humble. You understand? I'm very humble. So you guys just remember that. Remember that.
The only, you know this golo thing. The only reason why security guards will follow you around is so that you will not steal things.
Ooh.
Champion, define stealing. Can you steal what's already yours? Nah.
Oh.
Don't let's not start. Let's keep this peaceful. We had a guest. Let's not wash our dirty linen in public.
Oh please, my linen is as clean as anything. Oh my god, it's so glad to have everyone in the studio to this evening, and I think we're jumping right into the discussion for today. Before Azu like give us all the goodies he brought for us. Well, so within this week, I think I was talking with somebody. Oh my god, where are my manners? Ah god. I forgot to ask, please, Abbas baby, how has your week been? Like, what have you been up to? What's popping? Like, give us a deep dive into your life. We want to know.
I'm happy it's the weekend, but it was a busy week. That's all I have to say. And it's been a while I've been here, which is true. But I've been in the background. I think last week's episode, I'll be last 2 weeks episode. If you guys are not listening to it, you can listen to it. I really love that one. I really wanted to have my 2 cents. But anyways, yeah, I've just been doing my thing, and hopefully I'll have more time to be here. So yeah.
For those who don't understand complicated English, he has been racking the stacks, like gathering money.
Wow.
See, bill him today. Abbas baby, we know you love though. So this is just a little thing. So sometimes when some hosts are unable to even like be present in the episode, like when recording. Sometimes they're always like behind the scene. Last 2 weeks episode was just like that. Abbas Baby was actually like literally in the podcast. Champion, remember, but he could not just speak. Like he was not in a very convenient environment. But we thank you for coming today, hosting us with your money filled presence. You can feel it from here, like the expense is
I don't know where
plenty.
you're
Thank you.
getting all these ideas from, but okay, yes, amen. Happy to be here
Oh
too.
my god. So I think I'm going to ask Champion. But Champion, how has your week been? Like what was the highlight of your week? What did you do this week?
I did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. My week has been very calm, very busy too. Yeah, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yesterday I had like a little family function, and that was interesting. My brother got back from school, you know, gym, exercising, books, the whole shebang, man. Yeah, that's just what I'll be up to this week.
Yeah, I saw that. Even though you did not post it, you know me. Even if you did not post that family function, I will see it. I'm like, I'm family at this point. Mommy posted it, and I saw it. So, nice, Abby.
Right?
Even though you don't invite me, even though you did not invite me. Anyway,
It
we'll talk
was
about
not
that
my
later. But
event
then,
to invite.
facts. Another one. Facts. Anyway, before I start talking about my own week, Michael, power hack. How was your week? What did you do? What was eventful? And what would you say is the highlight of your week?
It's been a busy week, working on some projects and trying to meet deadlines. Apart from that, I have been going out a bit, meeting new people, making friends. Yeah, that's just it.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that's interesting. Networking, wow. You see, my circle, see, don't worry. They're not to brag because anyone uses it against me. But then it's so glad to have you, Mike. And we're glad that you had like an eventful week. It's really nice. What will I say about my week? Okay, so my week was kind of calm. First off, my mom had traveled like for some weeks back, like more than 3 weeks back, and then she arrived and she got something so nice. I love. Who knows? I'm not sure you guys will know it. I'm not sure about Baby and Michael will know it. I'm not even sure Champion will know it because Champion is a city boy. There's this thing I love so much. It's called Dodo Ikiri. When she was coming on her way, she got me Dodo
You are
Ikiri.
very your head also is twisted. Something that is from my state. I will not know it because I'm a city boy. If I stone
Champion,
you,
champion. Can't
my
you?
mind just went to that is Dodo Ikire this guy is talking about. I just knew
You
what
know,
Dodo Ikire you were talking about. As you said,
Momsi
yeah,
actually, she
city
went
boy,
to your
yeah,
state
yeah.
now. Momsi went to your state. She was at Oshogbo.
That's why. No, how do you think something that
That
is
was
native to my state and I will not know
you
it?
should you
Come on
should
now.
know,
I'm a
champion.
Yoruba
That
boy through and through.
I meant champion. I meant to attack you.
Yes,
That's why I purposely said
baby.
even champion will not do it because I know it's from your state.
Sure,
Ah, God.
sure. Don't worry. You guys are sure seeing, don't worry. Go low, go lower. I am here for you, Dawson.
That was an intense attack. Relax.
I'm very relaxed. I'm very calm. I'm very calm. So,
Anyway, so
Momsy bought Dodo Ikiri, abi?
I've eaten it. Don't come. I've eaten everything. So anyway,
Momsy boy.
Mopsy brought to the Curie, but then also when she was in Ilorin, she also actually Ilorin, when she was in Osogbo, she also visited Lagos and she got me this it's called fried crayfish. I don't know how it is, but that thing is sweet. Oh God. I think that was the highlight of my week. Food, funny enough. Um everything was just really nice and she got me really nice stuff that I actually like. These are like parents, like no matter how old you are, you're always their babies, they will always get you stuff and it's just like yes, that joy. I think another thing that struck out for me this week was a lot of good news. I received a lot of good news in the emails, you understand. And another thing was I was talking with a friend. Yeah, I was talking to a friend, and the friend was like, Totun, I was talking about the podcast and so many other things. And the friend was like, oh, so, and asked me, like, this one was asking me, we've been doing this for how long? I was like, oh, 3 years. So like, how is the traction? I was like, oh, traction is nice. And then the friend asked me, how do we get our topics? And I first paused and I just looked back at all the topic and I was like, we've never lacked topic. And in my mind, like, how? Like, how? And it brought me thinking that, wow, that sometimes and the river just flows. Say amen, people. Like, it just flows and it just happens because two, I remember, I think our longest season was season one. I think season two we had like 10 episodes, but season one was long and like the topics just kept on coming, even to the one we'll be discussing today. So that's about my week. And this week, we thought of this very well, and we're like, oh, what is something like we humans are just like, even as children and adults, like as kind of like, I don't want to use this big English, but like we've grown into. Um, so the topic for today is like coping mechanisms, either what we used, whatever, like in whatever situations, like different people have like different coping mechanisms. Like for example, now, children that never had friends growing up, some of them as kids kind of started like becoming book nerds. Like you understand, they found comfort in the fantasy of another world. Some were like cartoons, like some were animes, like different things. Some were even writing. You understand, some grew up like okay, maybe like instead of going out they became introverts. Like there are different types of coping mechanism growing up, and some we even still use to date. There are some people that social media is a coping mechanism for not doing some things. Like this is just like a point of like the whole coping mechanism thing. So I'm going to be asking today, like, what were your coping mechanism growing up, Abbas baby?
Oh, I'm going first today. Hey. Um. Okay. This is like a very broad question. I think I was thinking about it this week. I was like, what exactly? Because there are different aspects
I
of our
think,
lives that.
sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
Dotun,
Go on.
so that like we go into it better. I feel the first question we should ask is, what does coping mechanism mean to you? Then you can now like tell us what are
Not
the
not
coping
champion
mechanisms
taking over.
you've used in the past or still use till now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's dope. Abbas, we can just start from there.
I love this. Okay, what coping means in English? What coping mechanism means to me? I think it's like, okay, let me just say what mechanism means generally, because it just means like
Now
basically,
the question is it coping mechanism or coping mechanism? Hmm. Food for thought.
well, these are accents. Me, I
Oh,
don't know.
guy, you better get out of here. Mechanism, all joy. Isha ends with same.
It's him. Thank you. Um, but I think like coping mechanism generally is just like the way people tend to manage, the stress of life or like stress of anything that they're going on in that situation. So I think that's the same definition for me because I'm not trying to be philosophical and I'm bringing big definitions, but that basically to me, I feel like coping mechanism is like a way you can use to um cope with your stress or cope with the things that life throws at you, right? For me, I think like ever like from growing up to right now, I think one way I found that I cope is I kind of take time to pour into myself. Um, I like Dalton was saying, I'm very introverted, and I think it came from the fact that I wasn't able to not fit in, but at some certain stage of my life, I felt like I wasn't really fitting in with people that were my mate and what I think we've talked about this even when we talked about the episode on people pleasing. I wasn't, I didn't feel like I was, in tune with my mates and whatever. So anytime I'm in open spaces like that, I felt felt very anxious. I was feeling very like, oh, I'm ready to go, that kind of thing. So I felt like, what I learned over the years was what happens is before I go into spaces like that, I think my coping mechanism is even before the event happens. Before I go into spaces like that, or before I go into like the public space, or before I even go out like daily, I kind of have to take time to, be with myself, if that makes sense. And just like, pour into myself and do my own thing, do the things that I think or I want to do, or just like be prepared for what I'm going to face outside. You know what I mean? So that I won't run out of, um, like what's the word now? I won't say energy, but I won't be ready to like run back into my hiding space again, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's just like pre pre coping, if that makes sense. That's okay, pre coping mechanism for me. But also like I think
Hmm.
outside of that, after like being outside, after being with people, after doing all these things, I
Hmm.
still come back to do my thing, and my thing can be like watching TV shows. Dotun, you know me now. You know me on my TV shows.
Clock it.
You know me on my TV shows. It can be watching TV shows. I can do that all day. I don't care. It can be like, going to play sports that I like tennis and whatnot. And
Yeah.
then like also one of the ones I feel I I want to really talk about is like my church family, like my just how at every stage of my life, I feel like I've found my people in church. I found my people in, like maybe in choir or something. So every time, like every week, I always look forward to, oh, it's almost choir practice or it's almost like, you know, church or something. So my mind is like, oh yeah, we can just go and, like a safe space type of thing. So I don't know. I feel like everything just comes back to pouring into myself again. So
Hmm.
once I pour into myself through all these things, I'm able to handle like whatever, whoever or whatever wants to come at me. You know what I mean? So I think that's what just like a summarization of what coping mechanism is to me and what my coping mechanisms are, if that makes sense.
I feel like from what you were able to see, I think one thing I was able to deduce was that for you to even like have a coping mechanism, you need to understand yourself. Like you need to know, okay, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, because
Definitely.
some coping mechanism might not even work for you in some situations, even though
Hmm.
you're a certain way. So itself is being self-aware is very important. Thank you for that, Abbas baby. Power hack. What was your coping mechanism, or what is still your coping mechanism that you can share with the public? There are some. I'm very sure that there are some coping mechanism that some people like keep to reserve.
Mhm. I'm sure there are some that people can share. But how I deal with stress, Sometimes it's sleeping, like an unhealthy amount of sleeping. Just forget about it. And also bed
You are my
rotting.
brother. You are my brother.
Yeah, bed rotting. You just stay on your bed and doom scrolling on social media. I mean, that's a very bad way of handling stress because the problem is still there, and most times it gets worse. Another way is talking talking with someone that I like just
Hmm.
talking about it. Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
And another thing I do is kind of like social isolation. If I feel very stressed out, I just tend to lock myself in one place. I think that's part of the bed rotting, but yeah, but yeah, that's how I deal with stress. That's my coping mechanism. Some of them are not
Wow.
healthy. I know. I'm still going to work on that. In fact, all of them are not healthy because chatting with someone, if you overdo that, you tend to build a kind of codependence with this person, and
Mm.
that's not really healthy.
That's true. That's very true. Oh wow, your comments are very like I'm very sure a lot of people listening to this will be able to relate to most of them. Even we in this podcast, they never call Dave's champion, but
Oh,
I said champion. I
I
swear to
don't
God,
like
I'm going to be it. I swear I'm going to be it.
I don't even like sleeping like that. Everybody
No, I'm
knows
talking about
in
like
my
don't
house.
worry,
I
don't
don't
worry,
like
don't worry.
sleeping.
The champion is like sleeping. I just want to find trouble too. Can't you guys just see it? Well, like I honestly, your coping mechanisms are so relatable. Like I understand them, and I know most of them are not healthy because I when I'm mentioning mine, you understand why I say so. But thank you so much for sharing. Champion, the big bear, the man himself. What are coping mechanisms to you? Like, do you think they're healthy, and what would you define as coping mechanisms?
All right, so my definition of coping mechanisms are basically anything like you do to either escape reality or relieve stress or manage your stress, or basically an activity or something you do to distress. And it could be like you like I think Abbas baby and yeah, I think like Abbas baby said, your coping mechanism can be different depending on what particular situation you are trying to cope from. I think Paul Hack said something about that. So like it depends. If I'm maybe if my social battery is low, I have a coping mechanism for that. I might just like lay on my bed, listen to music or something, you get. But if I feel very overwhelmed or tired, I either go on a run or go to the gym, basically, or play sports, play basketball. Like when I'm very overwhelmed, like I'm thinking or worrying about a couple of things, I just like to like do some form of like physical activity, even if I cannot run or go to the gym. I'll just like take a very long walk. I think some days back I was in my head about a couple of things, and I just like went on a very long walk without I normally I would listen to music as I walk, but like now I just said, nah man, I want to be like in my head, but like move so I could like come up with like a creative solution to solve the problem I was in. And I like the fact that like Power Hack spoke about it. I also like to like speak to people when maybe I'm stressed, but then again, you don't want to now have that dependent type of thing, because if that person is not there and maybe you like talk to them, pour out your heart to them about a particular problem every time, but when they are not there, you would be stuck with that problem. And if you are not someone that can like face the problem head on, you'll be left. So yeah, it's always healthy. Coping mechanisms, I will not say they are bad and I will not say they are good either, because like you said, if you escape reality for a little while, whatever you escaped reality for will still be staring you in the face. So like I believe in putting the work necessary to like do whatever he wants to. But yeah, coping mechanisms are definitely a good way to just forget about the humanness of life, basically. So yeah, over to
That,
you,
that,
D Bobo.
that makes so much sense. Well, to me, okay, let me start this way. I think I sent this to most of my friends here when I first saw it, and this thing was like a woman talking about like how far we've come as humans that and the amount of information we consume per day. And she's like, human beings were not meant to consume information this fast. And definitely sometimes it gets overwhelming. You understand? Back in the days, our parents always bragged that when they were dating, that they would send letters, it would take weeks. You understand? They were not, I don't say they were not overwhelmed by so much information and stuff. If they even want to get things out, like new things, they actually literally have to go to the library to actually get stuff. So these days, a lot of people get easily overwhelmed. I remember me, I know so many of my friends, in fact, everybody here, I believe, have taken social media breaks on multiple occasions. And this is just like the social media part of it. Like, I know when Champion took a break from Snap, I know when he took a break from WhatsApp, Instagram, I know when Abba's Baby did the same. I'm very sure Michael too do the same once in a while. You understand? Even me, sometimes I just go off, I stop posting, I just stay off social media. Most likely, even my streaks on Snap, I just give someone to handle it for me. You understand? Because as much as we try, and that's the isolation I think Power Axe spoke about. Um, as long as we try most times to always be grounded and have energy for everything, we are humans. We get fatigued, we get tired, and we just kind of like find something to release that stress, which can be a coping mechanism. For me, um, okay, I don't know if I should say this. Well, since I'm doubting if I should say it, I'm not going to say it. But then when I was in uni, there was a coping mechanism I had, and it was not healthy. I'm not going to lie. It was not healthy at all. But it was a coping mechanism, and I had to grow out of it, knowing that okay, you are tired, but you don't always have to do this. You understand? Like you don't always have to do this. And the funny thing is that it does not even happen like constantly. It always happen like growing up, like what and I noticed something that for me to actually participate in that coping mechanism, I kind of like build up the tiredness. Like, okay, I know, okay, I can rest now, but no, I'm not going to sleep. I want to get to that point where I'm tired. And then I'll have to do that thing to actually like cope. So it was very funny. And I did not tell anybody about this. I'm not going to share any of you here, no, but then I actually came to realization by myself that this wasn't healthy and I had to stop it in final year, which was kind of late, but it was not actually late because nothing, no damage was done. But then that was like a part of me that happened in uni. You understand? Now I have so many coping mechanisms. Like there are sometimes if I don't want to chat to anybody, I just go offline. Like you understand, off my data, put my phone on DND. DND is a coping mechanism, mind
Hmm.
you. Put my phone on DND. Like I just tell me that I go offline and start playing games. Like just start playing games. On my phone, which is very funny because we have a game here which you'll be elaborating later on. But you understand, like so many people have different coping mechanisms, even to our parents, you understand. I know people that I think I watched a film recently, To Kill a Monkey. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but please spoiler alert. In that movie, the woman's coping mechanism was alcohol and she was taking it to deal with her life, literally. And it was very funny because I just saw that and I was laughing. So a lot of us deal with so many things which are healthy and unhealthy. But to me, I think coping mechanism is the way human beings have learned to deal with like the amount of energy they are getting slash information at the same time and just kind of move with it. And it hasn't just been a thing of now, that's been a thing of the past. Think about the cavemen, they had to cope. You understand? In fact, the body is built to cope because if you notice, I heard the cavemen back then had more hair because there was nothing like clothing, so they had to grow hair to like kind of cover themselves. I think it's human nature and even like life itself, nature to cope to things. Like look at evolution. I heard
I,
that the
I, I
whale,
think I think the word is adapt and not cope.
yeah, adaptation. You understand? We kind of adapt, to kind of evolve, and just like become better at dealing with situations. I heard the giants were like the largest animal on alive. I heard that they were once like they had legs and then with time, I was reading a documentary on them, and with time, they just like kind of evolved, and their legs turned to fin, and look at them in the water now. So I feel like it's just part of human to cope or to live, but then you should be able to signify when, or point out when that coping mechanism is becoming more of an addiction or something that you can't do it out. Or what do you
Yeah.
guys feel?
There's a, there's a very thin line between like a healthy coping mechanism and a what they call it, and an unhealthy one. If let's say you're coping, like there was a time in my life where like if I used to have some sort of like an anger problem. When I got very angry, like I would raise my voice a little. I didn't used to get violent, but I'll raise my voice a little. Like so, I just said, "Thor, champion, this is not something we want to have. We have to deal with this thing." And I sort of started to like when I get angry, I'll just sort of like want to like pull my anger into something. Like maybe if I'm holding something, I want to throw it away or I want to break something. And I and will I call them a friend? I and someone I knew were sure talking, and we're talking about like men that beat their wives. I said, nah, that doesn't make sense. But like me, if I when I like have money before I get married and I want to build my house, I'll build like a little rage room, right? So that whenever I like, I either get very angry or maybe so sometimes it's not even anger. Sometimes you're just very stressed out, or like you get some kind of news and you just want to like take it out on something. And she was like, that is not very healthy because like it will come to a point you think, okay, you have a rage room that you are breaking down old televisions, breaking down old business. There will come a time where that thing will not be enough and you will now start to like take it out on actual human beings. So like I believe that we should always, know the our limits when it comes to things like that. Like there's a certain point it gets that you know that if your coping mechanism also is to like avoid human beings, that is not so helpful because like at the end of the day, we live in a very connected, or like say an interconnected world. So like you would still get to see people. So probably what you can do is maybe whoever is pressuring you or whoever is overly stimulating you as a person, someone that is just like adding to your stress, you can cut out your interactions with them, but you don't, avoid human beings altogether. Yeah. So I have been rambling for too long. So Dawson, take over. Bye.
Honestly, I think we've said it all about coping mechanism. Yeah, I think Michael or Abbas, do you have any other thing to say about coping mechanism, or like things you want to advise people against?
Well, I would say like,
Um,
oh yeah, yeah. Go
oh,
on, Michael.
yeah,
You
don't,
guys should
no,
do
no,
rock paper
go on
scissors.
about.
You guys should do
No,
rock paper
please,
scissors.
Power has you our guest. You go
Please
on.
go
Thank you,
on,
sir.
please.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, uh, coping mechanisms. There are some healthy ways, and some unhealthy ways, right? And as Champion said, um, avoiding humans is actually very unhealthy because you you tend to build it can like let me explain it like personally, right? If I am stressed out and I decide to cope by doing social isolation, right? While at first I might feel good, might feel okay, but after a while you start feeling a bit lonely, and that can now lead to like depression and stuff like that, which is a very huge negative to that form of coping mechanism, because trying to solve a problem or avoid a problem, you'll be inviting more. Humans are
Hmm,
very social animals. We can't
true,
stay alone. It's not our nature. So that
true.
point from Champion is a very strong one, and
Yeah,
it's something that I'm trying actively to stop doing, if that makes sense.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So I'll be mindful for all my outings now.
Yeah.
The thing is, this thing as we saying is very real. Like I think I've
True.
shared on the podcast before. I think I've shared on the podcast before, yeah. So when I went during my NYC when I was in Nasarawa, like in my head I was like that so I'm not going to stay here for a long time now. So I'll just, be by myself, limit my interactions with people, just from work, come to my house, basketball and go back like to Abuja. For like the first 3 months, that's what I was doing. What I now started doing was I would be calling all my friends in Abuja and everywhere. I would call Dotun, I'll call my
Oh,
other friends,
champion called
but like
me. God.
but
Champion called me.
people around me, I was not talking to them, and I just noticed that like I felt so alone. I felt so like it was so bad. Then I just started to like make friends. And the thing is that those same friends at some point during my stay were very essential to like my experience there. And I was just like, if I had not made these friends, I would have just been alone in my, apartment. To the extent that even after my service, I think I still stayed like 2 extra weeks because of the people I had there to like greet, spend time with before coming back to Abuja. So like Power Hack said, just don't isolate too much. You can isolate for a while, but like don't isolate. Instead of fully like isolating, what you could do is to just limit your interactions with people if they tend to like add to your pressure and whatnot. Thank you very much.
You see, another part is having really good friends. I think that's one thing you're lucky to have because I knew Champion wasn't like big on calls. Like I know, okay, Champion is not someone to call you normally. Like, but then he was calling that period, and I knew, okay, he just started his NYC in Nasarawa, and I knew, okay, it's either he's maybe very excited or less busy, or maybe he just needs someone to talk to. So I was there receiving his calls, talking to him, and it was really fun. So I think another thing is just knowing your friends are there for you because there are some friends you call them and they're like, I'm busy, let me call you back. You understand? They want to get you off the phone. So I feel like when it came to realization that I cannot continue doing this. Glow cannot be eating my money every day. Just like, okay, I'm not feeling this
Please,
way, and he
please,
just let it go.
we don't use glue over here, please.
Oh,
Okay, I see. I see. Okay, go from there. I tell them.
Glue lawyers, please don't sue us. We don't need to
Yes,
defame.
please.
Please don't do us.
You
And
know.
and
these are the low brand connections we put
another
us
thing to
on.
add, like Abba's baby said, another thing to add, as Abba's baby said, no matter how little, it is always important to have a community. I feel
True.
most of your problem, especially in this like young adult 20 to like 30, 35 phase we're in and we're like getting into gradually every time, a lot of your problems would be easier to solve and handle if you have a community. If you have sometimes like what you need might not even be money. Sometimes what you need is just a good laugh. Sometimes what you need is just like a someone to listen to you. And if you have a good community, I feel most of this would like be solved. So I strongly advise that you like create your own community. It could be from your gym, it could be from church, it could be your workplace, wherever you can. Like it could be like it's funny that I have people I go to watch ball with. Like if I'm in the viewing center now, there are some people that I will greet, okay, and our relationship ends at that viewing center. If we go out, I don't know where anything about them. So like you could just have little communities like that just help you basically to because this life thing is quite tough, isn't it? Like
It's
it's
quite
something.
tough, in
So
it.
you know allow my British accent from season one to come back, please. So yeah, it's quite tough. So
From
as
Lube.
little as you can, just get a community.
I think that's what I wanted to even say because, like,
Okay,
oh,
guys. So
Dotun
no, I
Dotun
wanted to
said,
say that
"Shut
Abbas
up
maybe
and
should
go
like say
away."
one last. No, 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 no. I wanted Abbas maybe to like say the last thing, so I'll round up, then we'll move on to the next segment.
Oh, okay. Move on to the next. I'm ready to go home. I'm joking. Um,
Relax.
what was I saying? So, like, what Champion said about creating your own community, I think, like, that was one of the things I also wanted to say because, like I said before, when I was in an environment where I couldn't click with the people, I thought it was a me problem. I thought it was because of me that I could not click. It was because of me that I could not, like, interact and just have a normal interaction without feeling anxious, without feeling drained. And then when I actually use my own hands to go and find my own community, I think everything just worked. It was no more like a stress thing to talk to people. Before it was like, oh my god, I'm going to go and look. There are so many people. Da, da, da. But now it's like I'm looking forward to even go and talk to these people. So like I think it will help for people that feel like they don't really want human interaction in quote. If you find the right humans, I think interaction will not even be a problem at that point. But what I wanted to say was like when it comes to the whole coping mechanism thing, I think there are some things that yes, it's just gonna be a constant that we have to cope with. But there's some other things where you can actually work it out, like work out the solution. If the solution is to leave the situation, please leave the situation. This life is one. Like we literally have one life. Nobody has time to be. Imagine you coping from one thing for the rest of your life. Like if it's something that you think like maybe you can solve the problem, then try and actually solve it. Because sometimes coping mechanism can just be a way of being lazy about some things and being complacent without actually putting in the work, like Champion said about putting in the work to change the situation. But if it's something that you think like you can change, you can cut off, you can like if it's somebody that is stressing your life, there are so many. How many billion people? You say it's eight. I be how many now? There are so many people that we can move on to and find someone new. Like it's not. I know change is kind of crazy. Change is hard. Change is um scary. But I think your mental health and your health in general is more important than trying to just be in a situation because you have to be in a situation. Oh, I can't cope. That's fine. I could just keep coping. It's to get to a point where you run mad. I'm sorry, but anyways, I think that's just all I wanted to, just chip in. But yeah, it's that's it.
Thank you so much, Abbas baby. Like you guys have said it all honestly. I feel like let me just say this before we move to the next part. But basically, this is what I feel. As people have your community, like there's this podcast I listened on. They were saying something which is very true. Most of the problems we have, and you see people coming online acting a fool rather, is because they don't have people to actually talk to. Like create that WhatsApp group, like build your village, build your people, and basically, if they're like an abuse case. Like there's one thing I don't stand for ever, like ever, is abuse. Like if it's either emotionally any form of abuse, I always advise to step out. Like, don't cope with it, please. That's not what we are saying. Don't collect punch. I be like, Abbas baby say we should cope. Please, oh. Don't cope with abuse emotionally if you feel lacking and you're spoken about maybe if it's even like emotional abuse or like gaslighting and you're talking about it once and it's still not changing, please just step away from the situation. It's so unhealthy. Don't stay on unhealthy situations. That's a wrap on coping mechanisms. We have a teeny tiny bit segment for you and it's with Power Hack. So Power Hack, you mentioned earlier that you're a gamer, you make games and stuff. So just tell us like a little bit of what you do, like just like
Sell your
serenade us.
marketing.
Yeah, like tell us like okay, me, I'm a novice. I don't know. Okay, give me the A, B, C, and one, two, three of what you do. Like just tell us about what you do, everything.
Okay. The ABCs. Um, as a game developer, I come up with game ideas and I program them. Like I turn ideas into games. Basically, that's what I do every day. Obviously, making a game is pretty difficult, but it's a fun endeavor. Like this is what I have passion for making games. Um, it all starts with an idea of what you want to make. And after that, you have to think about the tools. You have to gather your tools. You pick your game engine. If you are going to make the arts and the sounds for the games, for the game. You also think of the software you use for that. Um, I use the Unity game engine and the Godot game engine to make my games. I also use Audacity and LMMS for sounds, and for arts, I use Krita to do some to make some 2D assets. I also use Canva too, and for 3D, I use Blender, Mixamo, and Magical Voxel for voxel art. Um, After you get your tools, you just start, right? Like you know what you want to do, you have your tools, start because the hardest parts of making a game, apart from finishing the game, is starting.
Mm.
What?
So yeah,
True.
I think that's a quick rundown.
I said that's so deep. The
That's deep.
hardest part of
Mm,
finishing a game is actually starting.
mm.
It's actually starting because there are so many people. Honestly, procrastination is a bastard if you think about it. But you talk about ideas, like
Mm,
okay, a lot of people always have ideas. But do you think all ideas are
yeah.
meant to be games? Because there are
Hmm.
so many. If you actually go
Another
to Play
angle.
Apple Store, like there are so many games, like there are
Mm.
so many. If like they are making games daily. So do you think every game, like every idea is supposed to be a game?
Well, yes
Oh,
and no.
very
Um,
diplomatic.
yeah, yeah. We have to go like this. We have to go into a bit of game design. Um, not every idea would make a good game, but it's a bit complicated, right? Um, if I ask you if clicking a button would make a fun game, what would you say?
Child, please.
Wait, it depends on the kind of button I'm clicking.
Mm.
If the
If you
button that
click
have
it and
food burger on it, I will click that button.
or if it has some feedback, you would click, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like maybe if you're clicking, a number is going up and maybe the button is getting bigger,
Mhm.
or if it's a burger, the burger is getting bigger, or something is being added to the burger, like
Yeah,
something makes it fun. On paper, right, just clicking a button shouldn't be a good game. But if you
sure.
can design it well, it can be a good game. And on
Mm.
paper, some things could be a good idea. For an example, you can think of making a large online RPG game that you build your character and like it simulates real life. On paper, that is a good idea, but how are you going to implement that?
Mm.
Hmm.
So yeah, so the question is a bit complicated, right?
Yeah.
Anything anything can make a good game and anything can make a bad game too. It's just how you implement it and how you design.
So basically in gaming or in game creation, the developer and
Game
like the
creation.
creators, game creation, sorry, the developer and the creators actually have like so much work in making the game great.
Hmm. Um, most times you have a designer that creates a game loop, how the game is going to be played.
Okay.
A good example is the Mario games, right?
Huh.
It has a very simple game loop, right? You go from left to right and you
Huh.
dodge obstacles and
Yeah.
you pick up stars and mushrooms for power up.
Yeah. It
So
reminds
the
me
game
of this
design, the game
Assassin's Creed.
designer,
Remember Assassin's
yeah,
Creed we used to
sorry,
play back in button phone? I say it reminds me of this Assassin's Creed and Bounce game we used to play back
uh,
when we had like button
yeah,
Hmm.
and
phone.
We love
bounce.
sound.
Yeah, so that's what a game designer like. They decide that okay, this obstacle should be here. Um, like they design it like wait, in bounce, right? When you're starting the
Yeah.
game, the way the camera is that the ball is at the like left side, and then there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
space, like a lot of space at the right hand side. Like the
Mm-hmm.
camera
Mm-hmm.
shows more of the right hand side than the left
Yeah.
hand side.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that?
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so a designer, that's part of the design. That kind of setup tells you that the game wants you to move to the right because that's
Yeah.
where like the camera is nudging you towards. So it's also a
Mm.
bit of psychology too. If
Come on.
if you have played games too that the character is dead, like dead center, like there's equal space in the left, equal space in the right, it will tell you that okay, now this game you would be going like up and down. You might like you go right to do something, then you have to go left and do on that thing, like all
Mm.
those stuff. I don't like how you is quiet.
No, we're taking
No,
it
we're
in. We're
actually
taking it
listening.
in.
Like, it's
We're
just that,
listening now. We're allowing you cook.
like I'm thinking of different games I've played, and I'm just like, oh, this one actually play with my head. So they always go this way.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
it's yeah. So it's yeah, yeah. So it's a fun thing to do, like all this planning and like tricking players to, do what you want them to do.
That's so cool.
Guys, you know the funny
Mm.
thing about this is that since okay, nobody knows this, but as Vicky was actually the one that taught me how to play chess. Yes, back in
Oh.
school. Yes. So he has always been a game person, and I think we got talking during that game of chess, and I think him and his friend back then. I'm trying to remember your friend's name. Oh my god, your very close friend. Oh,
Arinola,
he's not realized. Is it Edo? I'm trying to remember his name. Oh god,
Abraham,
I've-
Mesa.
Abraham. Abraham. So him and Abraham, I think Abraham too is into gaming. I think that they used to talk a lot about Java, Python, and stuff. But I never really paid attention. You understand?
Yeah.
And you understand? And then I never really paid
Mm.
attention. And then look at it today. That is like what? So your passions are real cute. That's what Allah is literally doing that's what he's literally doing as his life work right now.
Yeah.
Would you say
Yeah.
would you say it's a full circle moment, and like are there any other things like you also want to do? Because I know okay you've sent me like two games of yours that you created or one, but like is there like any other thing
Mm.
like you want to do more with the game scene, especially in Nigeria?
Oh, yes, yes. There is a lot I would like to do. Um, in other countries, right? They have like schools and like in schools they have courses for game development and game design. Over here in our country, it's a bit. I'm sorry, it's a bit different. We don't have any formal game development schools, at least not to my knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, what most game developers, the path to game development in this country is you go to school, university, you study computer science, and you get your degree, and from there you just branch out, you learn, right? Because
Hmm.
most game developers that I speak to, they are self-taught. They're self-taught.
Mm.
They taught themselves how to make games. So
Hmm.
what me I would do is I want to create like a platform where Nigerians can come together, like to learn how to create games. A big
Wow.
platform of Nigerians, Nigerian youths, Nigerian oldies, everyone
Hmm.
just come
A
together.
LinkedIn,
Let's talk about games.
a LinkedIn for games.
Please.
A LinkedIn. Will
No,
I say a
please,
LinkedIn?
but no, please. He
But,
said
What like a
community.
community?
You're saying LinkedIn.
I
Yes.
said a LinkedIn for games. You guys should listen to words now. LinkedIn is a community for workers now.
That's the thing now, but this
I
should be
mean,
different.
it
Like
should
I'm
it
trying
should
to
be
understand the
different.
idea. Is it like an online platform or like maybe a physical school or something?
An online platform, but a physical school wouldn't be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But it would, yeah, but it would have to be recognized as a course, say, as a program by the government, and
Yeah.
well, good luck.
I also feel
Yeah.
it. I also feel it's going to be a very good way to actually develop the youth because I
Not
feel
a
like
good
a lot
one.
of people would be interested, especially if it's like being introduced early on in their
Mm.
Muslim. Like imagine them telling you, oh, you can actually be a gamer and be successful. Like it's not compulsory like you're a doctor or a lawyer. You know how Nigerians are now, like those professional courses and stuff. But like if you say, oh, you want to be a gamer, like
Mm.
when you're small, you're not making games. Oh, yeah, no serious. An average Nigerian parent to think that this is what you want to be playing games. So I feel like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. So it's more of like an integration into like Nigeria system that games are actually like something big. Like just think about the person that makes Subway Surf or the person that made like Temple Run. Do you know how much money those guys gained when those games were in fact they are still hot so off.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, let me give you some a backstory. Cue the background music. All right. Um. Um. Fun facts. I do. Oh, before I start, just a quick clarification. Well, a gamer is different from a game developer. A
I
gamer
don't know.
plays games,
I
and
don't
a
Yeah.
game
know.
developer makes games,
Better
right?
talk
So,
about it.
like, yeah. Most times, game developers are also gamers, but like, it's good to separate the terms because not every gamer is a game developer, right?
Yeah.
So, back to my story.
I love this shit.
Final year university. Okay, okay. So, university final year, I
Yeah.
wanted to create a game project for my final project, but my supervisor then was like, I shouldn't, and I was like, why? This
Why?
is like it's literally part of computer science.
Hmm.
Like he thought that it was like an unserious venture, and that's what I want to kind of like break this notion that making games is not a career, when in fact it's
Hmm.
a very profitable career.
Hmm. Hmm. That's
If your
Yeah.
supervisor knew the hype behind GTA 6, eh, he would know that he should not sleep on games.
exactly. I feel like it's a lot of like misinformation. A lot of people don't understand the concept of it all. So they kind of like you know what they don't understand. They just kind of fight it without even wanting to. Like they don't have the knowledge of like how big the industry is.
It's ignorance, bro.
It's ignorance because look at COD, look at Fire, Free Fire. Is it Firefighter? Be Free Fire. Oh God, I've forgotten the name.
Free
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 fire.
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 Free
Look
Fire.
at
Yeah.
look at Free Fire.
Firefighter,
Look
change.
at you guys remember Mini Militia that came out that year and everybody was playing Mini
Hey,
Militia.
God.
Or
Like
even
Finally,
Clash
everybody
of
fam.
Clans,
Hmm?
Minecraft. Bro,
like the game
Dotun,
market. Yeah,
Shay then would seriously be like drawing on his book the kind of
Minecraft.
like
Right?
building he wants to go and build in his Minecraft. And I'll be like, what is,
Like literally,
bro?
we're
Like,
in
Oh
school.
yeah,
We're
he
in
at
school.
Minecraft.
Like we're in school. He did not have his gadget with him. He'll be drawing on paper. So when he goes home on holidays, like we're in a boarding school, he will go and create it in his Minecraft. That's how powerful the game was.
and what you also said, Power Hack, about like bringing it, like creating a community. I remember when we were in secondary school too, there were a lot of boys that they were like, and they'll build a game around like, and you know how GTA is. I don't know what that kind of game is called. Is it an adventure game now? But like
Uh, a,
something
a
around that.
sandbox game.
Is it
Yeah,
what?
it's called sandbox.
In
Sandbox.
sandbox game, yeah. They'll build something like that
Mm.
for like our experience in boarding school, and it was like very,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was very catchy, and it have made for a good game because like most boarding schools, most government boarding schools have like similar
Adventure.
characteristics and features, so it would have been very thrilling. But I don't know if they ever went on to do it because like you said, everybody sees gaming or game development as some sort of unserious thing, but it's actually quite serious, isn't it? Because like entertainment is good, and that is a form of entertainment. So yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys,
Also,
I know,
wouldn't it be
okay, okay,
nice?
sure. Go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, yeah, I was saying, wouldn't it be nice if we had like a big game scene, like how we have a big movie scene in this
Right,
country?
right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. Like it's going to be another infrastructure revenue generation. Like it's going to be huge, so huge. Honestly, like I feel like we are
Mm-hmm.
sleeping on it a lot. We are sleeping on it. Like you know how they have like outside the country they have like game cons, like where people come together, different games. Like they literally like how they have like this anime
Yep.
fest, they have game fest and stuff, and people are thrilled gamers, real life gamers, and even game developers. Like they all come together and like rub minds. Some gamers will tell them what they would like to see better in the games, like to the developers, and they just kind of build that thing, and the games get better, and it's just a lot.
I believe we'll eventually get there, Sha, with time, because like the tech scene in Nigeria is growing. So I believe we'll get there.
Hopefully we get there. Honestly, do anyone have any other thing they want to say? Do you want to inform us about any other thing, Power Arc, or anyone has any question for him?
I would like to take questions.
I love when
Exactly.
you say I like to take questions.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I
But
think
but if they, yeah.
I don't think I have any
Sorry.
question, but I think what we're going to do is like you
Mm.
just plug us to like your social media, and we'll leave it in the bio of the episode when it's out. So like if anyone has like a question, they could just reach out to you directly.
Mm.
Like anything, your email. It
Oh,
could be your email because you don't chat. anything at all
oh,
for us to be able to reach you.
oh,
No, worries. I'll ask you for those ones
oh,
later. But basically, I want to ask one
all
last
right.
question. What will you
Mm-hmm.
tell maybe a 10-year-old, okay, 10-year-old can't listen to this, but even though like a young person, a teenager who aspires to
Yeah.
be a gamer in Nigeria and like to the point you are now, because you are way ahead of where we like from based on our last discussion on the game, like you're better than before, like from secondary
Mm.
school. What would you advise? Okay, let's say that Michael in secondary school, what would you advise him to do and like the steps he should take, even if like maybe they wanted to do computer engineering, they're unable to, or maybe they get to something like a Greek and they still have this passion for game
Mm.
and they're unable to like, follow that route. Like what would you like tell them?
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. You have one life, so live it doing what you enjoy. I mean, it's
Come on
simple.
now.
If you want to make games, yeah, you should. Like right now, it's very easy to make games. Like information is out there. You can start it. If you want to make games, the best time to start is today. Whether you are
Hmm.
you're 10 years old, 20, 30, 40, 50. Just start.
Bro has been
That's
dropping
what I'll
nuggets all
tell.
this episode. I love
Yeah.
it.
Like very true. I understand what you're saying. That makes so much sense. Like today is the youngest you will ever be. Like the
Hmm.
few seconds we started this.
Doctor.
No, like no, think about it now. Few seconds we started. I was younger. I'm older now. Like
Come
with
on.
time,
Mm-hmm.
time keeps on
Yep.
moving. You understand? So the earlier you start, the better for you. Thank you so much, Michael. We loved having you on this podcast. You know, me and you create one game, we'll not tell them. Me and you go blue. Really want.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Sorry, are you guys still here? Oh, we didn't know. We're only talking
Child,
business,
please.
you see. Oh
Right.
my days, it was really.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming
Thank you
in.
for
We're really
having me.
glad.
And yeah, and maybe if this episode has like 1,000 likes, they might invite me again. Just
Come
saying.
on.
So
So
are you guys
yes,
hearing?
you guys, you heard though. Get this to like 1,000 likes and
Exactly.
listen.
On Spotify, YouTube Music, Sound something. Sorry, I don't know all of them, but we're everywhere. We're literally everywhere.
Every audio streaming platforms were there.
Yeah,
Run the
Apple
numbers up.
Music.
Let's see how we can
Apple,
bring Power
Did
Hack
you say Apple
again.
Music, Justin?
yeah, well, not, sorry, Apple Podcast. Hey, Chim.
See, and this is someone that said like he's the best. He's the
Champion,
this.
don't come for
We'll
me.
put up
Don't.
we'll put up a poll, eh? And we'll see. Because at this point, you guys should rest.
We really need to put
All
up this
right,
poll.
so
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching another or listening to another episode of This With Talk podcast. It was a swell time
I
having
was
you here,
grateful.
Michael.
All right.
Yeah, breaking. I'm doing it again. Just mute.
Dotun, please end this podcast. Let's go.
Thank you guys for listening to the this episode of the 20s Talk podcast. Thank you, Michael, for coming in. Really appreciate you. And you guys don't forget, you know the drill. Listen, like, comment, share with your friends, your enemies, your loved ones, your ex-friend, your ex-new boyfriend, your ex-new girlfriend. You understand? You know the rule now. Like, just share it to them. Let them know that, oh, you are getting better. You are listening to something that is better that they don't listen to. Pepper them. Maybe they would get jealous and start listening, but then you guys start listening. That is it. That's a wrap. Thank you for coming. Bye bye.
Peace out.